Hello and welcome to Sat Scrap number 1. This is going to be released on April 25th, 2020. So here I am sitting in my Photoshop CC 2019 workspace, and I am planning on building a page that I don't know what it's going to look like at the end. I don't know what techniques I'm going to use. What I do know is that I've pulled up some pictures and I want to build a layout about my purple hair. And this was one of my favorite, not so recent pictures, but it has my purple hair with my locks and my curly cues. And I love that I'm wearing purple lipstick and I'm sitting next or standing next to the dude whom I love. And I was inspired to create this layout using these photos because I was hanging out around in Sweet Shop and saw this kit created by River Rose Designs, and it was being featured this week in Sweet Shop. And I just thought, what a beautiful kit. I love, it's literally called a splash of color, but I love the vibrancy of this kit and the colors that are represented. And I know I can get some use out of this kit in a couple of different ways. However, it does have that purple that I want to match, and it has some other accent colors that I think would be really cool, especially the blue and the yellow paired with it in a layout. So I decided to grab a photo. I have another photo, a very rare photo of me, and you can see me in full body. I don't take full body photos that often. It's just no, I'm usually not pointing the camera at myself that way. It means someone else has to take the camera. I don't mind doing the selfies, but that's me. And I happen to be going out. I think this time with my husband, we were going to celebrate my birthday. And you can see the Christmas tree. And this was in Williamsburg when we lived back in Virginia. And before we went out that evening, this is me in my cute little getup with my cute little heels. I thought I was cute. And so I'm going to build a layout using these photos plus these kits. Now, please bear with me for this Sat Scrap, this first one especially. It's a little bit of an ozone haze in the city that I live in here in San Antonio, and my asthma has flared up, something heavy. And since I've moved to San Antonio, which I love the city, I'm just not really used to the allergy concerns here, and I'm definitely not used to how the allergies kick up my asthma. So I'm gonna pull through this as much as I can, but you can probably tell my voice feels and sounds a little heavy simply because, I'm trying to breathe. So please understand that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. So the other thing is, whenever I start a layout, I usually will start from, a blank canvas. But if I have a page already in mind or template in mind, I might go look back in my stash and grab a template. And many years ago, I created some templates based off of Pi Day. And I actually never scrapbooked with them. So I'm going to use this one. Even though I have 2 photos, I might find a third photo somewhere. There's 3 small photo areas here. There could be a photo here. There's a lot of different ways to use this. And I wanted to, work with this particular template. And I'm also providing this as a free download, updated a little bit to kind of match the colors and give River Rose a really great nod since I'm using her kit. Okay, so this is the origin of the pie template. And, you'll notice that it has a lot of pie things, but these are really just for embellishments. It doesn't mean that it has to be a mathematical layout. So what I'm going to do is I can start from the template, but I'm actually just going to drag these all into my new workspace here and just delete the template so that way I don't accidentally save over it. And what I'm going to do is start building up. I can start from the photos. I could certainly start with embellishments, but I like to build up from the background. So I'm going to start actually with the paper. And I had already had an idea to have black as the background color, some type of neutral. So that way all of the pieces that come in front of it really are going to pop out from this black. I'm just going to add my photo. I'm not exactly sure where I want the photo. It kind of is helpful if I know how big my photo is. Sometimes when I'm taking photos with my camera, I botch it and it doesn't look as good as it should. But let's just say I'm going to probably end up using this photo twice. And I'm just going to put it over up here and see where I want to put it at. That works. I think I duplicated it. Did I do it? Yeah, I sure did. Okay, good. So, you know, I might do something like this. Who knows? You know, I have to work it. Excuse me. And then I might do something like that. I was working for a magazine one time, and the magazine was like, don't separate your photos. And I was like, oh, but it makes me so happy to do that. So, you know, I don't mind doing it. So I'm just going to kind of put him right here. And then you'll notice I have an embellishment here that's hiding my face. I'm going to actually get rid of all these embellishments because they aren't necessary for this. And I'm going to use embellishments to kind of hide this. Even though the layout is really about my hair. So I'm just going to make sure I get that in there. But I want to get my guy in there. And that so far is pretty good. Now, because I have black here in the background, I want to pop. I'm going to leave room for a title right here. I want to pop this out from the background. So let's kind of look at some papers. It doesn't necessarily have to be papers. One of the reasons why I love this kit, it could be something like that. That's pretty cool. I love this kit because it has really cool, typical kind of traditional scrapbook things that you can use, but it also has like the flowers, embellishments, but it also has a number of paints. And I am such a stickler. I just absolutely love things that give me paints and things that I can play around with. They really create so much, allow you to create such a dynamic look. And I definitely love that. So, oh, look at this. That is such a great border. Oh yeah, I want to use that, but I don't want to define a border. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I want to do that. And that's looking so far so good. I want to put some papers in there that don't take away from what I've already created. And if I stay in black and just use neutrals or just even one color, it'll help. If I add too much different kinds of colors, let's say something like this, it's going to detract. So I really need to keep it very simple because these colors are so strong that anything will make it really hard to see. Actually, I want to use this one because it just has so much great grunge in it. Let me use that one instead. Oh, there we go. That's perfect. Drag that one down. See, I like the other one, but I like that one even more. And I might just put black right here. That's a little bit too much black. Let's put it right there. Let's see. I think I can use an accent color. So I'm going to grab this yellow. That's the cool thing when you're digital is that, you know, you can cut out as many pieces as you want to try and make it look good. And I think that's cool. And because, there we go. I'm going to use a purple here. And that one is this paper piece here. Not so bad. I don't feel like I need purple actually. So, not sure what color direction I want to go in. Let me see, what else do we have here? I could certainly use a glitter, but I don't want to. Oh yeah, I lost that other black one. Where'd it go? I was trying to save it because I think I was going to use the black here. So let's use the black and put that there. And I'm going to move this one down so I get more of the color in a centralized area. There we go. We'll do it like that. Because any text that I add, I would add it, you know, in white if I was to do it that way. And I still have another photo. I think I'm going to put him next to this photo right here, because I still have another photo that I want to get in there. And I don't mind that my photos are small for this. It's just a really cute layout to get in there. There we go. Give me some attitude, some appeal. And now I think I'm close to ready to start adding some embellishments. I have some circle dashes in here that actually came with the template that I might just try and use to my advantage here. There we go. That looks cool. All right, save myself some real estate here, get rid of all these little pieces, and keep my photos up just in case. And now I get to play around with some embellishing. And I'm just kind of looking through all of this stuff. And like I said, in this kit, one of the things that really just drew it to me was all of these extra PNG files that are perfect for adding flat dimension. They look like they're painted on. So for example, you know, I added that black piece in there, but now I can put this piece over it and clip it. So that gives me another little kind of piece of texture in there. And that's what I meant, you know, with these pieces, is that it just makes it so easy for a layout like this to come together, because now I'm just playing with art, you know, playing with pieces and creating a dynamic look simply by messing around with some stuff here. Just make sure my stars look like they're popping from underneath. There we go. And I love when kits have a mix of both flat pieces and dimensional. A lot of dimensional artists are really strong dimensionally, and there are quite a few artists who are 3D and do traditional stuff very well. But when you can find someone who creates both, then, you know, I am probably going to want to scrapbook with it. Just me personally. So I had mentioned that I wanted to put like an embellishment here. And so I'm going to start with something in the background that creates some type of foundation for pieces to sit upon. And I kind of feel like I want to do this yellow. Hopefully it's big enough. And I have a system when it comes to layering that I have used for many, many moons now. I have taught about this, and that is about layering your pieces so that they look a little bit more fuller. And that layering can help create a little bit more variety, I think, when it comes to your pieces. There it is. I couldn't figure out where it was within my layout. It's like it's missing. But adding pieces to your embellishments, not just using a flower, but recognizing that, you know, your flower has dimensions, and adding shadows. But, you know, even just something as small as putting some type of foundation behind, like this piece right here, just behind it, can help really secure it, really help make it stand out. And that is something that I have been doing and practicing, for a millennia, if I had been around for that long. And so I'm going to just put this one right here. And I love when designers do leaves in different colors besides just green, because we know that if there's going to be a flower, there's going to be a little green there. But it's nice to have just a little bit of something funky, you know, something abnormal, something that really just kind of goes, hey, I something is not like the others, right? Ooh, look at that black one. That's totally going in there. So I'm gonna get this one in, just sneak it in really quick. Give it more of a dimension. There we go. And because of how that's laid out, I'm just gonna rotate it so that it gives me the opposite color on the edge there. Maybe something like that. And I'm gonna duplicate that black one here, turn it just so I have a little bit of black poking out on the other side and kind of downplay the strength of that blue. That blue is really kicking up something high level. And let's get a flare. I had to look at these to tell what was the difference. Like, yeah. Oh, there's a U. It's for my friends in the other side of the water there. Okay, and that needs a flared shadow. That'll do it. Just want something really small, and that shadow is a little bit too strong just because of where it's not a big flare anymore. So let me just bring that shadow down. And I don't consider myself an over embellisher, but I am definitely an embellisher, an over embellisher. Let's see if I can blend that. And does it make sense to do it? It kind of does. That's an overlay blend on that black and white. And so it picks up the texture. Like here's the normal part of it where it's just looking like it is just slapped up there. And then adding that overlay gives it that crinkly texture that you're finding in the background. And then what I might do is just bring it down a little bit. Cool. And all of it looks good. And that's my first embellishment grouping. I need some more embellishment grouping. I still have a little bit of room to go, but this is making me happy. I'm heading in the right direction, I feel, with this layout. And I kind of feel like I need a butterfly because, what's a layout without a butterfly? Got to have the butterfly. Just bring it up so that the butterfly is at least on a happy flower. There we go. And I don't want it to be, but so big. So I always try and get my butterflies in a nice little relationship with the actual flower it's landing on. I don't want it to be, too strong. Let me reduce that size down just a little bit. I'm really in the face. Okay. I think that looks good. And I can move on to addressing a different part of the layout. So in still working with my embellishments here, I'm looking for some additional pieces to add. And I might go in the direction of this flower because they're so cool. Intelligently made, I should say. And bring it up. And I kind of feel like that one is saying, hey, keep me right there. And let me try that title part again. Try this. And I think I am going to use this because it's just so fun. And I am definitely going to need to add some style to it. Or even just some paper. It doesn't have to be something elite or out of this world or anything, but it doesn't need to have a little bit more flair than what I've given it so far. So let's try doing something like this. And let me lock that down so it doesn't move. And I'm going to put my flower, which is really, really big, and I'm going to bring a second one down. And you guys know where this is going. Of course, you know who Wild Style is, right? Let's bring it down just so that they look happily nested, right? Like right in here and that S right in there. Let's get it just like that. Wild Style. Because that's what the colors remind me of. Reminds me of everything is awesome. And this little piece over here, I'm going to duplicate that one. And I'm actually going to bring it up here. I'm going to duplicate it again so it's a little bit stronger. Just one right there. Yeah. Do it one more time. And reduce the opacity down. So kind of like it helps. Oops. I want to bring them together. Link those together. So that way they both, it's kind of like they're playing along with one another. Plus it helps create a bridge. And I think so far I'm really happy with how all the pieces are coming together. You move this a bit over. I don't know how far I can move it over before it, yeah, okay. There we go. And this guy over here, he needs a little bit of tender love and care. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the same pieces that I did on that side, rotate them a little bit and bring them over here because it helps keeps, I should say, continuity. I might, I will always change and play around with my anchors, but I do try and keep a lot of the same foliage behind pieces. The accents will get changed, but the foundational pieces will typically stay the same for my embellishing if I am trying to make it look similar to what you have over here. I don't want it to be exact, but I do want it to be somewhat relatively similar. And so like I will grab this guy, but I'm not going to just layer him over there in the same way. I'm just going to give it, a turn, a twist, reposition. So it's not so obvious that I am working with the same exact pieces, but it's kind of like, if you're floral designing or something, you don't grab on the east side, something different from what the west side treatment is going to get. It's going to get something very similar. And that's how I like to create balance. Another thing that I do to create balance too is I will use a lot of the same similar colors. So there's yellow over here. I'm not going to have something prominently yellow, but what I would do instead is what you can see is that I'm using, something small that has yellow in it. Just peeking out from over there just to help create that balance and flow from one piece, to another. Put that one over there. So that's kind of my way of embellishing to make sure that I have things that look familiar and understandable from one section to another. Oh, that scared me. I was like, oh, it has, things going on behind it. No, it's just on through things that are blending. It's like, oh, that's cool. Okay, let's see if we can get away with this piece over here. I think we can. And I still got to find some way to kind of decorate this. I'll get to it in a minute though. But that's the wild style. And I know there's some ribbon in there. I'd probably go with the gold ribbon. So maybe something like that. Oh, come up. Well, let's put that there. And let's take this piece. I want the star. Can I get the star? Nope, can't get the star. Let's just move the star from out because now I've got a lot of gold playing with one another. I don't even think I need that anymore. Lots of gold. I think I might change this piece that's underneath here. This paper might bring in a pink. And I might even do something like this. That works better for me. A little bit more balance, I think, since I brought in all this extra yellow hidden under here. And I'm not going to use my husband's photo in here. I'm going to find something else to put there. I'm not sure which picture I'm going to grab, but I feel like though I love him in there, it's not really working for me. Shh, don't tell him that I said that. And I've got text that I can fill in. I'll do that in a bit, but I absolutely want this to have more. Oh, I did that backwards. I want more to have more of a line height to it. And probably even just a little bit smaller. And I might use a different font, something like maybe CK Mama, which has become one of my new favorite journaling fonts as of late. Okay, wild style. And what else do I want to add? There's still a lot of little things that I can certainly add. Vibrant, vivid, and colorful. I'm going to try and get these in here. Let me see what I can do. I don't think I need my photos anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little bit more real estate here to work. And just get myself some letter stickers, you know? So vibrant, vivid. Let me reduce that down so it looks similar to the other one. And steal its shadow. And I am certainly colorful. It's very rare, it's not often that I build a all about me page. It doesn't happen that often. So I am excited to do it. I'm excited to do it. Let's do it like that. And still adding stuff. Okay, I'm gonna try and get to my title here. Let me add a shadow to this. Trying to get it so that I have these pieces that I want in here. So maybe something like this. Because that's the cool part about being vibrant and colorful, right? Is that you have these colors. See if I can grab this paint here. Might be a little bit too big. And you'll notice that my layout doesn't really look like the original pie anymore. You know, doesn't look like the original template. So let's add that. Can we get away with it over here? I think we can. I don't know if I love it though. I don't know if it's like a thing that I feel that it must be in there. And that's another part, very big part of my process is testing. Trying something out, recognizing it doesn't work, going back to the drawing board and saying, okay, well, if not that, then what? If not this, then what else? If that doesn't work, then how do I want to make it work? And I think this might be something that works really well to give help my title stand out, that wild style. I like the white because it's so obvious. It really helps stand out against all of that deep black that I have. But I need something more that's not going to take away from it. And I think that this kind of helps this look because yes, it is white, but it is not taking away from it. I feel like it adds to it. Maybe not. Let me try it without it. I kind of like it without it, actually. Interesting enough. I don't feel like I need that texture. Let me see if I try adding the texture because I only have the texture in 2 parts here. So here we go. That's helpful. Let me add maybe an emboss to it. Not a stroke, but an emboss. Soften it up maybe. What if we did like a chiseled look? Because when you have wild style, you're definitely not as she was in the movie. We're talking about the Lego movie, right? We're all on the same page there. But she had a harsh demeanor to her, right? I think that's cool. See if I change the contour any, would it help? Maybe a little. So let's copy the style there and then paste the style here. I kind of like that. It's funky. A little bit too strong. Let me dial it down and back a little bit. There we go, right there. And again, as I'm working within this hour to get this layout done, I don't always know what I'm going to do. Or in the end, if I'm even going to like what I've done. But that's the cool part of scrapbooking, right? Is that, and being a digital scrapbooker at that, you can go in so many different directions. You can have an idea of what it needs to look like and end up in a completely different place. And that's what digital scrapbooking is all about. It's the cool part of knowing that you can mess up, you can scrapbook it, you can play around with it and come back to the drawing board and say, I don't like the way that this turned out. I'm going to go in a different direction. And that's the cool part. Okay, this is going to seem weird, but I just feel like I'm missing something down here. You guys feel that, right? You look at it and you go, oh, it's coming together, but there's just something missing down here. And I feel what's missing is a quadrant, because it's like I'm dealing with quadrants. This is a math thing after all. It started like that. And I just feel like I need something right there and something kind of to balance it out right here. And it's probably, I notice that I do this kind of stuff when I want to create more contrast. If I feel like I'm lacking contrast, and there's just because there's just so much black going on, it does seem like it's missing some contrast. But if I add something that's going to be too strong, it's going to detract from the layout. So I hope I can do this without overpowering what I've already done and making sure that it doesn't create too much of a harshness. And pink is probably the color to do this. It's not gonna, I thought it would be the light blue, but it's not. So I'm gonna try this pink. And I'm really hoping that this gives me the direction of the contrast that I'm looking for, because it needs something. There it goes. I mean, I could even do purple. Let's try the purple. And let's hopefully, I would have learned my lesson. Nope, I sure did not learn my lesson again. I've got to scroll all the way down. I keep not dropping it in the right place. Okay, now I'm really kind of happy with that. And I think the opposite is yellow, because, you know, the opposite on the color wheel is yellow. You're going to have purple and yellow, right? So I'm going to do the same thing. Just grab the polygonal lasso tool and then just use the structure of the original pie to kind of help me eyeball. There we go. Let me close it. There we go. And then just draw an actual solid color based off that selection. Just going to turn it white so I can see. And I could use white, but because the title is already white, I think I'm just going to use yellow. Ooh, now that's vibrant. That's what I'm talking about. Changes the color scheme of the flower right there. So I might just move this down here so it's just not that obvious. I don't want it to be that bad. And take that and do this. Kind of changes a little of the colors. So I'm going to help it stand out a little bit more. There we go. Okay, just not plaster it like that. That's good. And I think this is coming together a lot better. I don't know if I'm in love with my title styling yet. I really still like the way that I've done it, but I don't know if I'm in love with that bevel. See if I can just toggle that off. I might just leave the bevel out. Or if I left it in, nah, I'm gonna leave it out. It's just too strong, I think. I don't feel like I need it. And I need to go find another, actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this photo and I'm gonna blend it into the purple in the background here. And I wanna change this to black and white. Oh, let's do it that way. I hardly ever do it that way. And actually, there's a reason why I hardly ever do it that way. I don't feel like playing with all those colors. Let's do a gradient map. Just do black and white. And let's high key it so it blends a little bit easier. I'm just going to blend those together. And tone it down. That's an overlay. It's a soft light. So you just kind of see a little bit of me back here. Might even enlarge this photo a little bit so it's more obvious that I'm in there. And I think I will rotate it or just horizontally flip it so you can actually see my face. And then I'm going to add a mask. And I'm going to get rid of a little bit of that edge work so it blends in a little bit better to the background. So you can see the paper. There we go. And then I think I'm going to do the same thing for this photo here. It's how I get away with not having to add all these embellishments to fill it up like I like to fill it. All right, we're going to do another gradient map. Oh, I've totally lost the photo. Where did I put the photo? There it is. Kind of need the photo there. And that's how I'm going to get my guy in. Okay, I am going to add a gradient map. I am going to make it black and white. Oops, I forgot to high key it. High keying is really important when you're trying to blend something like black and white. And then just to make life easier, I'm going to copy the same style that I did for that gradient map. Actually, what am I doing? I'm going to blend those together and then apply the overlay, or literally the same thing that I have over here. That one was a soft line. I'm going to go with an overlay on that one. Try it again. There we go. And just keep it slightly reduced. So you'll get a little bit of that texture, but then also you can see my face and my hubby's face in the background. Not sure how I want to do this, but maybe if I do it like that. And I think I might put an extra piece over my title. And actually, let me inverse that. Let me inverse that. Throw away the shadow. Actually, put that shadow on its own layer. And do it like that. Oh, I didn't do it right. Is it the shadow that's messing it up? I want it to look like it's coming out. You know what? I'll tell you what. Let's do it a completely different way. Let's do that. And then what I'm going to do is duplicate that part. Bring it over the wild. And what I'm going to do is mask it from there. And then on this, I am going to do it like that. Yep, like that. Nope, I need a hard round brush. And I hope if this is a technique that, you haven't seen done before, that, you'll be inspired to take the notes from it, but not necessarily feel this isn't a class. So let me try and get a more of a raised edge. So it looks like this part is coming down past that point, like it's stuffed in there, and this part is coming out. It's a little rough, but it will do. Do I really need a third photo? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. So that means I just need to play around with these guys a little bit. Get all of that. You and you. And just kind of bring them in. I'm even going to rotate it just a little bit. Just never know what you're going to do, right? Lower that down. This guy needs to come out. I think these just are hiding too much. So let's just bring them out a little bit more. And this, that's it. Needs to go. But I want it to be underneath that paper. So it gets cut off to the extreme. These two need to do that with the yellow paper. And this is kind of stuff I call like layer mechanics, where you have things that need to go in one color direction or behind something else. Those things are always kind of helpful. Ooh, arrows. Let's see if I can get that in. I'm trying to get something grungy to go over my title. Bring them up. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Get those directional lines in there. Something cool, but not so super like, oh, gotta have, you know, it's taking away from everything else. There we go. That works for me. And I want to have some circles. So I'm going to put this in there. And something like that. See if I can get that white paper back. Tuck that in there. Add a little raised shadow. By George, I think it's getting there, George. I think it's there. You will want to merge or at least overlap like that. Everything else is good. Lock that paper down and just move my circle a little bit. Just to continue to kind of play with that. All right, wild style. And I still have my journaling to fit in, but I think I'm kind of happy with where this has gone. I'm happy with how this looks. I feel like I want a little bit more up here. Like I could just go crazy playing around with more embellishings. Because I don't feel like I filled it up. If this is going to be wild, it certainly needs a lot more. And there's certainly more that I could add. You know, like, I don't know how big these are, but something like this, you know. If I'm going to do a layout about wild hair, wild whatever, I just feel like, you know, I have so much more room to add stuff. Try doing a flat shadow on that. As someone who did not like to embellish, I can tell you now with Ernest that I really do like doing it now. So I could go crazy with something like this. Okay, that's better. I like that. That's cool. Okie doke. So I'm going to continue playing with this just for a few more minutes here and give myself a little breathing room, walk away from my layout, come back, play around with some stuff, and fine tune it. And then I will show you the final rendition of this and hopefully inspire you to get some scrapbooking done along with me this weekend. All right, I'm back. I have played around with just a few of my embellishments. I moved my flower. That was the foundation down here. On this section, I moved the word art and put it over this text here. And I did a couple of little things to just kind of fill out this embellishment. I have a couple of things I could do more, but I'm not going to worry about it. And I moved this flower over to give it a little bit more height dimension down there. And I could do something like this to, you know, help kind of fill out down here, which I think is pretty cool. And this right here, I actually cut my little the art brush in half and shortened it because it was just so long, it was sticking in my face and I couldn't figure out what to do with it, right? So I just shortened it so that way you get more stick, that it just looks like a shortened brush rather than something that's trying to stab me in the head. So I did that and reduced the size of this ribbon. And I think that I'm really happy with the result of all of it. I think it kind of dives into my personality, kind of gives me that feeling of wild style from the Lego movie, which wasn't kind of the direction I started with, but that's where it went when I kind of put it all together. And really, for me, it's just a nod to this purple hair that I'm rocking, that I'm still rocking year or two later, that I absolutely love, and kind of personalizes this birthday layout that I've done about myself, because this was taken on the day that my husband and he took me up to Williamsburg to celebrate my birthday. So that is our first Saturday scrap. I'd like to thank River Rose for this kit that she produced together that caught my eye in the the Sweet Shop Design store, and I picked it up and wanted to use it, and I don't even think she knew that I've picked it up. Oh, I didn't use scatters. Come on, I love scatters. I got to throw the scatters in there. So even though she didn't know that I picked it up, thank you to River Rose for building this kit that inspired me to design this kind of layout. It's vibrant, it's beautiful colors, and you did a phenomenal job. Especially, if you don't go into a store and you're not thinking about picking up a certain kind of, thing, and then you look and you go, oh, I've got to have it. That is just awesome design. You just gotta appreciate when somebody builds something that makes you feel like you can't do anything but have this layout, and you gotta scrapbook it today, even when that wasn't your original intention. Just gotta nod to that. All right. So until the next Sat Scrap, which I'm hoping to do each week, gives me the opportunity to do it at whatever hours or time I'm available. And I hope this has inspired you to pull out a scrapbook page layout in your head, as well as a kit, some photos, and enjoy the creativity. Until the next time, happy scrapbooking.